this shit, it's time to go. Genius show, let's start the flow. 100 times we've lit the spark. Thoughts that shine in the dark. Celebrate, we've reached the peak. Epic thoughts every week. Real people, real vibes. Creating change, changing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cut the Shit, Cue the Genius. This is a very special edition. And the reason for that is we are getting ready for IMEX, baby. Vegas, here we come. And we are coming full force. We have all the greatest tech wizards, if you will. This is the first year, and I have to give credit to Karina, Ray, and Tahira, where I've been nagging for quite a bit, and they've all come in full force as our fairy godmothers and with the fairy dust. And now we actually have within the tech area a dream come true for many, where there will be a tech stage. There's going to be a tech upskill bar. There's going to be also right next to it. This is where all the cool kids are going to hang out. There's going to be cool kids there. And I am super excited because this is our first year where we are going to have a Tech2Grow collective area. And we have amazing companies that are going to be with us. And they are there not only as tech companies, they are there for you to make your 2025 just awesome, kick ass. So we are super lucky to have them on the show today. And I also want to tell everybody that we are also going to be, as Dahlia Plus agency, as myself, and Tess is also included, and the whole team is included. We're going to be giving away some cool stuff, not only at the show, but during this show. So we're going to be giving away 1 hour coffee chats, whether you want to talk about anything. You want to fugly cry over wine? You got us for an hour. You want to talk about your branding? You got us. Your tech stack, AI, whatever it is that you need to get out of the way, think different, and do it in a different way, we're there for you. So we're going to be doing a couple of those giveaways as well. Stay to the end because we're also going to be creating a song together, and this is going to be epic. So I'm going to bring in our first guest, and it's Cecilia with Evessio. Every time I say the name, I just want to sing the song. So I am going to sing the song because I can.
You can do it.
Yeah, you're breaking my heart. There's going to be a lot of dancing happening as well at the Tech Pavilion. And I just want everybody to be prepared. All right. Bring your dance shoes. Bring whatever you need to do to make you feel good. This will be the feel good area.
Happy smiles. Love it.
I feel like we stay up all night and then we don't know what's, day, night, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, adrenaline will carry us through. That's for sure.
Something's going to carry us through. Yeah. It feels like happy land. We'll see. We'll see if it's a happy land. So, Cecilia, you're going to be at IMEX. Is this Evessio's first time at IMEX?
It is Evessio's first time at IMEX America. We were in Frankfurt, but yes, first time in America. Not my first time though, so I know what's happening.
You've been there before.
Yes, indeed.
You've been there before. So let's talk about, we talk about celebration, we talk about awards, we talk about recognition. How do you see that it's shifting right now? What's the most coolest ideas that you've seen where people are recognizing others either within their organization or within their industry or something brand new?
Well, I think the first thing is that any recognition or awards program is awesome, right? Because it's celebrating something that someone, a company or initiative are doing something amazing. But what really excites me is that when people or customers think beyond the program itself, they think about ways of how to, provide resources for their audience, how to further promote the winners rather than just saying, hey, there were a winner here and that's it. But also thinking about ways of how that awards program can help them as a brand, as an organization.
Right.
And You know, we have some cool, like, we work with a number of clients who does this in a really, really cool way. One of them is the Free From Food Awards. So they do different awards for food and drink that's obviously representing in the free from, industry. And they've translated their, shortlisting or their winners announcement into a searchable and filterable system. So anyone who is interested in this industry or free from products can go in on their website and tag, I want to see the products that are winners in this industry without gluten, as an example.
Oh, wow.
And they see all the winners, their products, all of their information. And it just creates, another way to, work with that, the audience that's interested in that, and also the winners. What a great way of just furthering that celebration of them achieving something great. It's things like that that's really cool to see, because they're thinking beyond just the program itself.
That's awesome. So like something that big, does it need a huge budget?
No, not at all. Like, of course, if you're looking to develop things into, the next things, absolutely, you do need, or it's not only money, it's effort, right? It's putting the thought process and the effort into it. But, there's plenty of things that, people can do to create an impactful awards program or celebration program without much thought. Like, just a simple and user-friendly entry process. Like, some of them are so complicated and there's so many questions and they make no sense whatsoever. But then also, like, the judges. Let's not forget about the judges. The judges often do things free out of, gesture of goodwill. You have been a judge, I've been a judge. We do it because we want to support them, right? But if you could establish well-known judges, that extends the kudos of your program, right? It extends that reach. So there's definitely things that you can do and work on that's going to help you with, no additional cost whatsoever.
Yeah. Which I mean, on the flip side of that is, awards and those and the programs initially can also be a revenue stream as an extension of a brand or as a standalone. It comes to a point where it becomes a moneymaker, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing is, you have to think about the money making in several different aspects, right? One of the things that I think people who runs awards programs lack a little bit is in the transparency of, providing feedback or even benchmarking reports, because that doesn't cost anything. You have the feedback, right? To supply that to your entrants absolutely cultivates a culture of trust and transparency, because they can see, why wasn't I successful, or where did the other people within this category mark and where was I, so that builds the brand and helps them with that. But ultimately, if you build that brand based on that information, the entrants are going to trust you and they're going to keep on coming back next year because they know where they fell down this year. So it's things like that as well that doesn't cost anything, as long as you gather that information and think about the data entry points.
Well, I mean, and that's a valid point, because when people, event planners and marketers and organizers that I talk to, they really, really ugly cry when they try to do awards receptions. There's so many different factors, and then those that are still on Excel sheet, and I am not dissing anyone here, but like with everything else that's going around, you want something simple. That's one. Excel sheet, have at it. If it's, whether it's 250 tabs in, color coded, all of that. But there's other things that you need to really put in place. Your marketing has to be like spot on. You have to cut through the noise kind of thing. So what is like one common mistake though that you see over and over again when people are tackling an awards program? One I see is it's a cut and paste. Well, last year's didn't, it wasn't that bad. No, it was bad. I've seen you ugly cry. And then you cut and paste the same exact program, same exact way you did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're doing it again another year.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't have the data to then look at how all the other things went either. So you can't use it to improve the program.
Right.
So
But like, what's another mistake? Like what?
Well,
what do you want to do? Shake them up and say, don't ever do that again.
Well, to be honest, this is probably not going to surprise you, but being lastminute.com, because it has such a knock-on effect on everything else, right? And I think it's just being realistic about the timeframes as well, because everyone is like, okay, I'm gonna launch this by next month. I'm like, double that time frame, or at least 1.5, because it takes a lot longer than you think, right? And I think the time in particular, it does have a knock-on effect, right? So if you launched a program late, you're not going to get the number of entries and quality of entrants you want. If you then extend the deadline of the entrants, then that means a shorter judging period, which puts pressure on the judges. You do not want to piss off the judges, because they are extremely important in this. Yeah. Then, you then have shorter time frame to announce the shortlists. If the shortlists are often a big revenue driver to buy tickets for your award ceremony. So you give a shorter time frame to sell your tickets, which means you have more pressure on hitting your revenue goals that you want to get to.
Right.
And then if you put pressure on the operations people who is going to deliver the ceremony. So, never underestimate that an awards program and award cycle tend to be 12 months. It's as simple as that. And, that's just, we work very fast, but there's only so much you can do yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think Gabriella nailed it. She's like, awards are no joke. It's an extra layer of organization, add in virtual acceptance, speeches, all of that. Yes, there's a ton of it. And Leanne is like, oh yeah, we're launching this next week. That's not a joke. That's not like a ha-ha thing, Leanne. That actually does happen in real life. Yeah. And Rachel says awards can also be a great additional strategy to drive more event registration. So I agree with everybody. So we're going to get a more like inside scoop of how to do awards differently and better, and no ugly crying at IMEX. And so we're going to put up the link where if you want, you can set up appointments with Cecilia and everybody else that's going to be in the Tech2Grow collective. And we're going to see you there in all glory. And you have a session on stage too.
I do, with some other fabulous people within this this group today. It's going to be phenomenal. It's case studies, right? Yes. There's no better way to shout about what you've done well by bringing your clients on stage or in via video to tell how it's worked for them. So,
and especially really Adam Perry because of his kick-ass accent. So here we go. Cecilia, I'm going to see you in Vegas soon.
See you in Vegas. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. So that was awesome. And you have to come. If you're coming to IMEX, you have to come and check us out at Tech2Grow Collective. And we have our next guest, Graham, with us with DelegateSelect. Graham, how are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Everything's in the reverse. I'm just trying to get myself seated so that you get me in the center, looking at the camera.
We have you. We have you. So what time is it over there?
Just past tea time.
Tea time?
5:15.
So
5:15.
There you go. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's only noon here. So is this going to be your first IMEX?
It is. Yes. Yes.
No Frankfurt. This is like first IMEX
no
ever.
No Frankfurt. No, we thought we'd
God.
do it properly.
Oh, yes.
Go for the big one.
This is the big one. IMEX is the zoo. That's for sure. This is where it becomes a huge hug fest. That's first. Then you meet like the most amazing people ever, and you become friends for life. So are you ready for that?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about so everybody's into, you know, one-on-one appointment scheduling and looking at like how to do even like hosted buyer concept a little bit better. Matchmaking, those are kind of like the key words that we keep hearing over and over again. And a lot of event organizers that are trying to create these personalized you know, journeys for their event participants, not even only attendees, but also everybody, you know, exhibitors, sponsors, etc. So one thing I wanted to talk to you about is the smart wish list. Talk to us about the wish list, because I think that's very intriguing.
Okay, we distinguish between two types of matchmaking, if you like. One we call like diary-based or self-scheduled. And I think that's the one that most people are familiar with, where you register, you profile yourself, you choose which bits of the program you're going to, and then you get to see other people who are coming. You can filter the list, or sometimes the organizer has, I've got very smart software, it's going to tell you who I think you should be meeting. And you look at and you see that actually the smart software thinks you should be meeting your competitors, not your potential clients, because you happen to have the same profile. So there's a lot of issues there. But the bottom line is that people see people they want to meet, they click a button, and it sends them a meeting request. Now we can set this up any which way. So you can actually have it book appointments into people's diaries, or you can have a meeting request saying, I'd like to meet you. And then you say it's a visitor wanting to meet an exhibitor. The exhibitor says, yeah, this is interesting. They click on them, they look at their profile. And then the system will match their two diaries. It knows if they're going to go to program sessions. It knows if they're turning up late or leaving early. It knows from their diaries what they're doing, and it'll show all the blank spaces in the diary. And then the recipient can press, yes, I'll have that meeting. And then it goes into both parties' diaries and it sends them emails.
Nice. So in regards to like the wish list and the one-on-one, give a little insight to planners, especially those that have already implemented it. What can they use matchmaking data post-event for when they are designing, you know, new events or the next year's conference, for example?
Well, we find that the thing they use the data most for is to contest exhibitors who said I had a lousy show, and they said, oh, our data doesn't show that. It shows that you had 10 meetings and these are all the people you met. And not only that, they thought the meeting was great. What was wrong with you? So that can be very useful data for the organizer. I think that's probably the main thing that the organizer will get out of it. You know, they know who met who, they know possibly the sorts of people that are going to be of most interest to their visitors. We do event buyers live. I think in the UK you may be familiar with Standout magazine and Neil Fagg. He's been a client of ours for many years, but he really gets a lot of traction. And the way he does things, he uses the wish list. Now, I'd explain the self-scheduled, where people arrange the meetings amongst themselves. But in the curated, people, instead of booking meetings, they give the thumbs up or the thumbs down to people they'd like to meet. And then if they give the thumbs up, they can drag them up and down a list. And then the organizer's got a lot of information. These people want to meet each other. These buyers want to meet the suppliers. The suppliers hadn't said yes. And the suppliers want to meet these buyers. But usually they will go through in priority. They'll say, if both buyers and suppliers want to meet each other, press a button, make that happen, and it will schedule all the meetings. And then
Perfect.
if the buyers want to meet a supplier, let's top up their meetings with the buyer preferences.
That's great. And Gabriella had a great point. She's like, this is helpful for us socially awkward folks. I doubt very much that you're socially awkward, but okay. But you know, this is also a way where you can get people with different energies. I'm going to say it that way at an event to be able to meet like-minded attendees, for example, or those that are just interested in different conversations and different topics. So, so Graham, thank you for that. And then we're going to continue talking about wish lists and having, you know, all of these amazing meetups and the scheduling and so forth at IMEX when you will be there with us for the first time. You're going to be, you need comfortable shoes. I'm going to tell you that right now. So.
Okay, I will probably something smarter than sneakers.
Yes. Well, sneakers are allowed, okay. You know, sneakers are allowed.
They are allowed.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go shopping this weekend.
All right. Sounds good. See you in Vegas, Graham.
See you in Vegas. Thanks a lot.
All right. So we are going to continue with our conversations. And if anybody has any comments or any questions for our speakers, or you want to continue the conversation at IMEX, if you're not coming to IMEX, that's also fine. You can reach all of our Tech2Grow collective companies on the page that we have built or created for you on Dahlia Plus. So please go to, we're going to send the URL one more time. And if you're having trouble finding, okay, I need to reach Rachel or Graham or Sam or Sheeta or Cecilia, just let us know or email me, text me. Pigeon signals will get you to the right person. So we are here with Rachel, and Rachel with Snöball, curly hair.
Yes.
So we decided that with the curly hair, and Graham and Sam, you know, we'll have to put wigs on you. We'll see at the pavilion where we are going to do a curly hair meetup because Sheeta's in, Cecilia's in. I think it might be actually talk about peer-to-peer marketing. Like, come on.
And then the FOMO.
The FOMO.
With no curly hair, go get yourself a wig.
Exactly. So, you know, we're gonna be ready, Yush. What, you know, bow tie, whatever it is, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do that. And you know, but Rachel, welcome.
Thank you.
And
it's a bow tie. Awesome. I'll make sure I wear one, Yush, when I get there.
Oh, that's what the bow tie was about. Yeah. Okay. So everybody has a signature thing going on. But let's talk about peer-to-peer marketing, because everybody is trying to.
There it is.
Get more eyeballs. Oh, there it is. And it is shiny too. There you go. So when we talk about peer-to-peer marketing, and there's a lot of different words that people are using: influencer marketing, peer-to-peer marketing, I don't know, social
word of mouth, creators, whatever, thought leadership, all of the above. I know it's people talking.
But what you want it to do is you just want it to be viral. Like, you go and you like design this amazing event that has awesome people. Your favorite people are going. It has your favorite speakers, favorite topics, and you just want to shout it out, right?
Not just you. You want everybody to shout it out for you.
Okay.
So you need to be able to, that's the word that you love, give everybody a megaphone.
I do love that word. Because I'm loud and obnoxious. Like, everybody should have a megaphone. You're at your favorite show and you just want to scream out loud. You guys gotta experience this, right?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we just got back, both you and I were at Inbound. I mean, the FOMO was real. Seeing everybody saying like they're going, and all of a sudden it's like I was last minute. I decided to go because, you know, I wanted to go be with my peeps, the flock that we go to these ones. So similar for any event, any industry. So it's really important to showcase who is going to be there. So giving them that megaphone, enabling them to easily say and share that they're coming to the event will really elevate, and the data is there, obviously, the tracking and everything is there to show you that it does work, and you get to see a big lift there from all the different stakeholders. Some of them will emphasize on speakers because all speakers have a big following, but sometimes they're from outside of the industry. So you want people who are relatable to you, people that in your circle, people that that they are the ones that will champion that message and be able to share it and tell people that about your event.
So we have so many different channels right now, where you have email, you have LinkedIn, you have text, SMS, WhatsApp, Telegram, which is having trouble, but we're not going to talk about that. And you have a ton. So what's the future like? Is it a mix of everything, or is it depending on where people live,
where people are, different regions, different countries, different types of events? Some of them are, if you take events in security, for example, or IT or something, you're not going to see them sharing it on social, like publicly social. So we've done last year a benchmark report to analyze all this, because I got so many questions from clients like, how do we compare to other campaigns, or how do you see it for this industry? What is the most popular channel people use? Because we do offer the audience 13 different social channels to choose from in order to get the word out. So from the data that we received, it was surprising to see that 36% of all social sharing that was happening on private channels. That's WhatsApp, Messenger, SMS, things that you don't see publicly. So if a client goes and check on social and thinking LinkedIn is their top channel, and they don't see much activities, doesn't mean that it's not happening. It's happening behind the scenes. After those private channels, then you'll have LinkedIn at a different at 28%. So it's a big difference also still between that. And then also email is on its own as well. People share it by email.
So, and Effie's like, what's the most popular channel for IMEX?
Actually, well, if we were snowballing IMEX, I would have been able to tell you that. Karina,
I have a feeling that with IMEX, it's probably going to be LinkedIn. Just knowing event profs, they try to keep their personal away from, well, maybe not.
Well, it's not personal. I mean, inbound, look at us. We created a WhatsApp group.
Oh, that's right.
So there could be some communities on WhatsApp and groups on WhatsApp, and people are chatting away, and you won't be able even to tell.
Yeah.
That's happening.
So here's the thing, though. Like, when we're talking about this, about peer-to-peer engagement, let's give it a different word right now, is how do you bring in the introverts or the first timers to be part of that energy, like that amplification? Does it have to be done in a different way for them, or like, does the messaging have to be done in a different way? Is it different channels?
Well, those ones that maybe they will share it in a private channel, but that goes back, maybe if you want to take it a step earlier on, when designing the whole registration form and what you're capturing there. At that level, if you are intentional in what you're going to do with it, and ask questions, that those could be used, like the answers of those could be used after to kind of feed into these campaigns. So then you can segment them and say, hey, I'm a first timer, who else is going to be there? Or like, these are my topics that I'd like to talk about, or these are my, like Jabberyak, who's also one of the companies with us, like conversation starters to kind of break down a little bit the walls of being an introvert. I am an introvert too. So having something.
You're not an introvert.
I am an introvert.
No, you're a wannabe.
No, I am an introvert. I hide it well. I have my doses of being social, and then I just go.
I don't know. I think once you put the bow tie on, it doesn't.
That I'm on fire when I have the bow tie on, but then when it goes off, legs up, hide in the corner, and that's it.
So real quick, what's a common like peer-to-peer marketing myth that you want to debunk? It's not going to work for my event. blah, blah,
that's the
blah,
thing.
blah,
Why
blah.
people don't use it, don't share. They're not social, but they're not social, but they can be also still talking to their people on different channels that you might not be aware of. So, and you have to ask. You have to ask everyone because you think they're going to do it. Nobody, and some people don't. If it's not, brought to their attention. And
Yeah.
it's not also about just putting a click share here. There's a thoughtful campaign process behind it and ongoing, so it's simplicity and repetitiveness is also key in driving results to build up to the event.
All right. And I see that Yush was coming to your rescue from my comments about you can be an introvert and still have social skills. And if anybody knows about that and who's going to be actually helping us with that, it's Yush. And we just have to talk real quick about the Tech Upskill Bar, which is a brand new offering at IMEX. And it's going to be next to the Tech2Grow collective. But this is where we're going to have like amazing I don't know. I don't want to call them gurus. They're like Sherpas. They're going to be there for us and having to talk about everything from AI to event engagement to positive intelligence, which is something that Yush is also very, very awesome at. And so it's actually where the cool kids are just going to hang out. Yeah. We're just going to put it that way. Cool. So Rachel, you're excited for Vegas. You ready?
I am ready. It's the event of the year that I look forward to because everybody is there and I get to see everyone that I like and love. And
there you go. There you go. I think everybody's ready for this. And if it's your first time at IMEX, let us know in the chat. Also, if you're going to stick around and if you do want one of the coffee chat hours, please let us know. I think, Gabriella, you did get one already. So you are our first winner. Woo-hoo. There you go. There you go. And I think and Marissa's going to be there and Effie's going to come. So we've got really cool people that are going to be with us. So would love to know if you're a first timer, would love to know if you're seeking any type of different solutions for anything that you're doing. And we're truly here to help you out and to empower you. And Gabriella's first time as well. So look, do you have curly hair? Does she have curly hair?
This is the first time too. Amazing.
All right. So, and Leanne is going to be there too. So we've done it this year. I think this year is, and it's Yush's first time too. I have to tell you guys. Oh my God, Liz, it's your first time too.
Oh God, there's so many first timers.
In perspective, please wear very comfortable shoes. Don't over schedule your schedule because you are going to be hanging out with us at the Tech2Grow collective and at the bar. I mean, the upskill bar, not only the bar. Let's not. And also the tech stage, which is going to be fantastic. And so we want to adopt you. The first timers, you're ours. We're going to be there and we're just going to hug you and high-five you and introduce you to amazing, amazing people. So that's a promise. What else? So we have a couple of minutes. What do you want to talk about?
I need to drill you. It's my turn right now. You're on the spot.
I am on the spot. Okay, so what do you want to ask?
So you see this chat lighting up on fire, and everywhere you go, you light up the place. I've seen lives changed. I've seen people cry. I've seen people hug, all that stuff. All these activations that you've been doing. What's so magical about them? Why? What are you doing?
So we say that the Dahlia Plus team has fairy dust. So that's one. Second,
it's real. It's real.
It is magic wand, Harry Potter style, we're the wizards behind the curtain. But truly what it is we are on a mission. Our mission and it's using our energy to empower others. And we empower others in different ways, whether we're doing an on-site activation and we are talking about AI or we're talking about LinkedIn, we make people cry because it turns into a therapy session. It's not one about like, oh, let me tell you what you should do with your headshot on LinkedIn. We really dive into it with wanting you to step out of whatever session you're doing with us, whether it's a consultation, whether it's an activation, whether it's a hug, that you're going to leave more empowered and smiling other than ugly crying. And I bring up ugly crying quite a bit because our industry is charged with stress, period.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to do better. Even if it's on the technology or solution side, they want to do better for them as a team. They want to do better for their clients. And so we can help with that. Whether it's event organizers that want better experiences or to create something different, this is where the empowerment comes in. What we love to do, especially on site, and I think this is where we're going to see a lot of this going forward at events, is creating these little hubs, these on-site activations where you're giving value add. There's no real return except to make someone feel that they kick ass, that they have a cape, that they can get through shit. And yes, I adopt first timers. So it's
like, you adopt everybody, and that's
adopt everybody. But yes, see, Marissa, who's part of the Dahlia Plus team, made someone cry.
There you go. The magic is there. It's real.
It is real.
There's I mean, you don't talk about AI, you talk about AI, but there's something magical that you do, is that you bring out the superpowers of everybody and you bring out the humanity in everybody. You know, she's gonna cry now. I'm gonna make you cry live. Woohoo! Because what I love about being around you is that I feel I'm myself. And I think if everybody in the chat is feeling the same way, please thumbs up or comment or something. Because you walk around these business things and you feel like you have to put on your networking thing and everything. And you come to this area and you feel like, oh my God, I can be myself right now. And I can feel whatever I feel. I can talk about whatever it is, and you make it magical that way. So that's what, that's part of the magic. Last thing before we leave, like, these are, there's different activations you do. It drives people to get empowered, feel that they can do it, and they can have all the right tools to do it. What are, one, for example, low budget activation that you can think of that has big impact that you've done?
To be honest, when we talk about the whole concept of a recharge station, and you put in there like chargers for the phones, let's leave the phones for a second.
Yes.
Let's talk about recharging your people at an event. And a low budget type of activation is truly just having someone there to help people out with whatever they are coming into that space that's on their mind. And it could be, I'm looking for a job. I'm not happy with my leadership. I don't know how to communicate with them. I am drowning in the shit that I have to do every single day. I don't know what my path is. I don't know what my flight plan is. I don't know how to start. And some of them, they actually know. They just need validation or someone to talk to.
They want to hear it out loud.
They just want to hear it out loud. And this is where the crying comes in. It's because it's been in them all the time. It's a different way of a conversation. That's low budget. That's like having a bunch of us sitting in a space. It could be couches. It could be around, but bring really good coffee or chocolate, or else there will be no conversation.
Popcorn.
But low budget is like you just have someone there. You don't have to have a pretty setup or anything like that. It's just someone who has the time to listen. I think that's a solid activation.
It's very powerful because, I don't know the exact quote from Maya Angelou. It's something about, people don't remember
what you do. They remember what you feel.
How you made them feel. So yes. That is powerful. Sometimes it's hard to put a KPI to it from a sponsorship point of view, but man, oh man, you do touch people and it moves lives, changes lives.
And speaking of lives, I just also want to take this moment to say I am sending you hugs and kisses for what's happening in Lebanon.
Oh, thank you.
And I wish, light and everything around your family and your friends, that they stay safe. So
You're going to make me cry now.
yes, because this is what we do. Anyway, and Effie brings chocolate. So we are going to be okay, Rachel.
Yes, we're going to be okay.
We're going to be okay. So thank you for drilling me and putting me on the spot and trying to make me cry. That's not going to. Anyway, so we're gonna be going forward, and we have our next guest who's going to be talking about engagement, and Sam with Snapbar. I'm excited that you're coming to IMEX because this is your first time too.
Yep.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah. I mean, I bought new shoes, but I could stand for hours regardless, it doesn't matter. Like if I didn't have a career in event tech, I'd probably be like one of those like Buckingham Palace guards. I could just do that and look dead serious and just think horrible thoughts about the tourists that are trying to make me smile, You
and your brother, you guys make me laugh, but like I have to say, what you do with Snapbar is pretty rock on. Like it's awesome. I appreciate it. It's great because people love to see themselves as avatars, as superheroes, and Justice League. I will say though, I did take a picture on Snapbar. I did not look like, Wonder Woman, but that's okay. That's not on you. That's on me. But
you know what you should do? You should go. Guru Conference has a huge thing that we've done with them for their activation, and it's like going crazy on LinkedIn right now. If you like look up the hashtag on LinkedIn, like hashtag Guru Conference, and if you look up Jay's post, you can go use their AI photo booth, but it's all 80s themed. So if you've ever wanted to look like a roller, it's kind of fun. People can do that right now, actually.
I love Guru Conference. If anybody wants some really great, just a virtual conference experience, you got to
Guru Conference so well.
In October. Yeah, it's 20 days and 20 days. And and the Guru team are going to be doing one in June 2025 called Eventastic. But I get what you're saying. The whole 80s theme, I don't know if we can take that with us to IMEX. I'm going to say no this year.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But let's talk about like, this whole idea of, and you're using AR and VR and, to bring in a brand new experience for some, not for many, but it's like people get addicted to it, don't they? They just want to keep on doing it just to see how they can play with the photos. Like what is the most, I don't want to say innovative, the fun part of Snapbar at an event?
I mean, for the past 13 years, our entire focus has been photo and video content, right? And when I say content, I don't mean like recording content or anything like that. I specifically mean like user-generated content. Like I'm at an event, whether in person or virtual. Granted, for like the first 10 years or like 8 years of our business, it was all in person, prior to the pandemic and stuff. And photos have been, I mean, the concept of a photo booth and event photography has been around for ages and ages and ages. That's nothing new, right? We like tapped into something that people love to do. There is like such a thing as a selfie generation. I'm not part of it. I don't love taking selfies, but a lot of people do. And I don't just mean like we love photos of ourselves. That is true. Whether it's a selfie or us taking a picture with our kids or pets or family, like there is something interesting about like seeing ourselves in real life or in AI, right? I mean, we have just as many products. In fact, like for the majority of Snapbar's existence, we've not been an AI focused company. We are now very much in that wave, but we have most of our products are just regular like real photos of people, not AI generated, that they commemorate events with in some way, shape, or form. And it's not just about like, oh, I need to remember this forever. It's also part of it is just like, it's fun. People like to have fun and they like to be given a reason to smile. And you can easily go to an event depending on the type, like you can go to an event and not smile. It happens a lot. When you walk around a conference, there's like a lot of people that are like busy, stressed out, worried about getting from one spot to the next. sometimes pausing and like taking a fun photo with a group or by yourself,
That's
or
perfect.
turning yourself into an 80s roller skater just makes you smile and have fun. And so I don't know, I don't like to get too scientific about it. That's really, at the end of the day, I think what we sell and what people love. But yeah, UGC and brand touch points and all this good stuff is what our clients want. And that's why we kind of bridge that, right? We inject a lot of engagement and entertainment into it.
I love taking the pause, and I love that people love selfies. They do. And
Yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but like, is the Snapbar set up at IMEX? Can you bring in someone else's picture, or like a picture of your fur baby, and put that up on the Snapbar thing, or does it have to be in front of the camera? What?
No, we can. Yeah. You can absolutely
so I can do it for
transform
Piper,
animals and friends and kids. Yeah.
Is my favorite kid right now. And I said that out loud.
Yeah.
It would be recorded and it would be like, locked out of the house.
Sure.
But then, Gabriella, you can bring your 1-year-old picture and we can turn that into awesomeness.
It actually does. It does a great job with pets. So basically, our setup, we will have physical units that like you can stand in front of for transformation. But a big thing about what we do is that it's being all web-based. A lot of people will engage with us just via the QR code. And when you scan the QR code on your phone and take part in the AI experience, you can upload any photo you want from your camera roll. So it doesn't have to be a selfie of you if you don't want.
So this is a golden opportunity for sponsorship, or like, awesome. Okay. So
yeah. I mean, that's a huge part of what we do.
Okay. So talk about it as a sponsorship opportunity. Like, how does an event organizer like deliver that to new sponsors, for example?
Yeah, no, great. So most of the time, probably like 90% of the time, we are either looped in to some type of like bigger sponsorship package, right? So it's like title sponsor gets X, Y, Z, and a ton of other things. And they get to sponsor like the photo op because they want, like, they paid the most money. They put their logo on the most amount of places. And it's not just logo. I mean, like so for example, one of the ways that brands that sell the sponsorship idea of a photo booth get in touch with the end user is that all of our content is delivered via email. Well, as you can imagine, if you're going to open up your AI photo or get your photo via email, those emails have like 98% open rates because you're waiting for that exciting piece. That's pretty good open rate. And you can put anything else you want in that email alongside the delivery system. So that's like a big reason that it's often sold to the like premier gold level sponsors. But I've also seen it to where it's just a line item, like its own thing. Sponsor the photo experience.
Nice.
Whether it's AI related, we have headshot products. So sometimes people will sponsor like the headshot thing, and they're able to like gather leads in the process. Obviously, like the content's branded and they can get into the inbox of the end user. So all of the things that you would normally think of in terms of like why it might be valuable to sponsor can apply just as much to the photo content. And of course, the hope. And it doesn't always happen, but the hope, and this is why I love kind of seeing like really successful, well planned out events like the Guru conference, who's kind of like really pushing for a bunch of registration it's already a huge conference. They have like 20,000 people coming, but they're always driving more attention is that people are posting to LinkedIn. If you go type in #Guru conference, you'll start seeing all sorts of really fun AI outputs. And all of those are like just billboards for Guru conference.
Perfect.
Right. Like, and so there's more and more people hearing about it, posting about it, et cetera. And that kind of thing is gold to marketers, right? They want people to post to social media to talk about it. And the crazy thing is that Jay and his team of Guru are, like, as an example, are doing this before their event. It's not even during. So they're creating traction, and then they have another experience that'll launch during the event. And that's another way. So we sometimes sell sponsorships to people that are, again, like, we'll sponsor it before the event ever starts. And it's a way to like get people stoked and excited about what's coming.
That's fantastic. So we're going to bottle that excitement, and everybody that's coming to IMEX is going to have a chance to either
100%.
turn into this Marvel character.
We're going to do some fun stuff. I don't even know if it'll be Marvel. I want to get more creative. Everyone does superhero. Yeah,
let's do something, but no cowboy girls or guys, because that would not work for me in Nashville. Just ruin
we're in Vegas, so
We're not
going to do a cowboy.
And then Marissa and I are going to bring pictures of our fur babies, and then that will be ultimately what we would need. So
I love it.
Can't wait to have you, Sam, and at IMEX Tech2Grow Collective. And now for our next guest, we have a Mark with Turnoutnow, but he is not with us, so we have a video. He will definitely be with us at IMEX, at Tech2Grow Collective, and he will be all about smart event intelligence. And I think this is something that a lot of people are going to want to tap into for 2025. So let's have a listen. How can we use event intelligence to tie in the whole idea of content with different aspects of an event? Meaning, like, you know, tapping into what kind of journeys they have on a show floor, or what kind of journeys or not. Like, are they sitting, you know, in the hallway and not wanting to engage, kind of thing, and the reasons why behind it? Because I think when it comes to event intelligence, or it comes to like data of, like, you know, traffic, except heat mapping, all of that, we've heard all of that. But for it to be part, or how it's infused within an event design, is kind of hard for some organizers. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And actually, when you look at an event organizer and they're putting on a new event, the first question you have to ask is, what are the key KPIs you want to track, right? What are the things that are important for you? And then more importantly, there's always there might be a couple hypotheses that you want to test, right? Hey, we're trying a new feature. We're going to put a new session in. We're going to try something new on the expo floor. In my experience, I think there's two schools. There's one school where people have the data, but they don't have the analytics team to be able to go through and really, give them the findings and give them, the nitty gritties. The other is the people who do have that. And then the question is, are you using that effectively to go make sure that you can secure at least the same budget, if not more, for next year? Are you showing your sponsors the ROI that they signed up for? Are you seeing the incremental revenue that you thought you were going to generate, right? And you have to go look at all of these different aspects. So a couple of things you mentioned are really good. I mean, heat mapping shows you activity. The challenge is most of the event coordinators don't have an army of people to go around the event and radio in and say, hey, here's what's happening over here, here's what's happening over there. And so if you have the ability to track what's going on, the event flow, the movements, whether it's in the exhibit hall, whether it's even things like food and beverage, are we getting the number of plates that the catering company is telling us, we consume? Or, do I have enough people in the keynotes? How long are they staying? When do they start to drop off? Where are they going next, right? What do the typical journeys look like? If we have a strategy that we're rolling out, are people leaving the keynote and going where we want them to go to follow up and look at the packages that we're talking about? So right. All of those things require the analytics to be able to say, yes, we achieved that objective, and here's how we did it. Or even, the sessions that we had the sessions were too long. We started to see people fall off, right? Halfway through, they weren't staying 90 minutes. Maybe we should pull it back to 60 minutes or maybe to 30 minutes. Who were the top vendors? Who were the top speakers? What topics really drew everybody and how long did they stay? Do we have overflow that we have to deal with? Do we have to gen up another session? So there's the real-time version, and then there's the post-event. How do I do things better or differently next year?
Well, and a lot of people ask those questions. They're really good at it, but sometimes it's not that it's too late, but it's post-event, after it's happened.
Right.
So right now, basically what we need to really get great at is the agility of taking those decisions. So like, as you said, was the session too long? Is 90 minutes too long? So before they even drop off, do we cut it short and then have that speaker go have like office hours with coffee or,
exactly right.
or something different?
Or should we create a meetup for this topic because there were too many people in there, right? So now we want to do something.
Exactly. Or do you see that the engagement with the session was on a specific tangent of what the speaker was talking about? And then you're saying, like you said, we do a meetup just on that topic somewhere and get those people talking. But that agility can scare the out of people.
Well, and we all know that events are probably the most dynamic thing that ever happens. So having the ability to do that more real time so that you can say, hey, you know, look at this keynote, it's oversubscribed. Should we do another session, right? Or here's a new topic and people started to fall off, right? What do we need to do on that? Where did they go afterwards? So I think more and more having the ability to react and pivot during the event becomes even key, you know, more key to creating a better experience ultimately.
So let's talk about event data, because event data and data lakes, which is actually my new favorite word right now, is data lake. So I will steal that one too. What are event organizers missing on when they look at their event data? Are they missing that they're doing it all on their own? Are they missing that, you know, is there certain like ways or insights that they should be looking at, like their event data, and saying, instead of saying I'm drowning, like give us like 3 tips that maybe they can go internally with their team or to their partners, for example, and ask like 3 questions.
The first thing that I would say is most of the folks most of the event coordinators are probably looking at some very basic data, right? How many people came, right? How many people registered? You know,
this is what I call vanilla.
Right. So this is just the baseline, but that's not going to give you any insights, right, into what's really going on in the event. So I mean, for our experience has been, if you don't have the analytics team available to give you that additional support, then go to the vendor and ask the vendor. The vendor can definitely provide it. I mean, we provide some very detailed event insights on every dimension of your event. Okay, that's number one. I think when you look at your exhibitors, for example, the data is key for them. They need to know how many people showed up, how many unique visits, how many repeat visits, how long did they stay, right? Whether I have, you know, personal information or not, at least if I know the roles that came, right, then I have a good idea of the traffic and I can justify my sponsorship, for example. So it's looking at the next level down from the basics. So we used a couple of examples. Who are the top speakers? How many people did they draw? What happened last year versus this year? I mean, that's the other part, is comparing the year before to this year and then saying,
even on same topics or same speakers, because you have a lot of medical shows that bring in the same
exactly right
speakers over. Perfect. Love it.
Yeah. And you know, so and if you're doing a new feature, right, really looking at the details of the feature. How many people came? Did they come early? Did they come late? When did they leave? I mean, that gives you a lot of insight. Where did they go next? I think that's the other part. And then looking at it across peer groups. So now it's for the different types of attendees I have, what has their behavior been? And then what does that tell me about, you know, their likelihood to come back again next year, right? Did they have a good experience? I mean, that's the other part, is how do you measure experience?
Right. That's a different conversation, Mark.
It's going all the way down, going down another level of detail to look at the underlying things around your sessions, right? Top 10, bottom 10 is kind of the easier ones, but then digging into the keynotes. What were the highlights and the lowlights of the keynotes? And how does that tie into the messaging that's being delivered by the speaker? That tells you a lot about, you know, the interest.
I love that. So actually, maybe this is a good question. How do you measure experience?
How do you measure attendee experience?
Yes.
We look at it. Well, here's my suggestion. I think there's a couple of ways you can measure it. Number one, you look at engagement, right? So how engaged are people in terms of networking, in terms of messaging, in terms of, you know, going to meetings, setting things up, communicating. All of that gives you an idea of how engaged they are. The challenge I think everybody faces is, you know, traditionally you go with a survey. Well, surveys don't work. People don't fill them out, right? They don't give you the level of detail. And I think there's some interesting new technology out that will also give you, you know, more of an engagement within the actual sessions, for example. You know, I've seen some work on facial analysis, right? Not facial recognition, but more the analysis, where you're really taking a survey across the people that are in a session. And you're looking at it from a demographics perspective and saying the equivalent, is it thumbs up or thumbs down, right? Is it a positive experience? Is it a negative experience? So I think between capturing actual engagement. So you can look at somebody and say, how many sessions did they attend? How many exhibitors did they go to see? How many conversations did they have? Meetups? All of that in aggregate tells you how engaged they actually were. Compare that to their peer groups, right? Because, you know, some of these guys, you know, they may be, some of them are more engaging than others. Some of the topics are more exciting than others, right? So you have to kind of look at it across the board.
Talia, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. And then we have, this was with Mark from Turnoutnow. We have Liz actually with us attending in the chat. You're going to meet Liz, first timer at IMEX, and Mark, also first timer. And they have a lot of very exciting features and things to show you. So I can't wait until you meet Turnoutnow at the Tech2Grow Collective. So our next, last but not least, guest is Sheeta, also with curly hair, and she's dancing, which she knows. She got the memo. Sheeta,
I did.
Yes, you did get the memo. And we are going to be doing this. But Sheeta, this is not your first IMEX Vegas, is it?
This is not. But I wish I could take it in as a first timer every time because I want all the first timer hugs. I was actually thinking about the other day, I'm like, I should just go to the first timer session just to relearn and get a little guidance, because I still feel like I could grow and learn so much about what maybe I'm not taking in at IMEX that I should.
But you are the networking queen, though. So let's talk about networking, because that's your passion. It really is your passion. It's not only about what Jabberyak, you know, offers and so forth. It is about networking. You are all about networking. And I wanted to ask you, because I think that there are certain, you know, types of people or event participants, and it's not only on the attendee side. It's also like, you know, I think also on the exhibitor booth personnel side, when they're like, you know what I mean? And we're like, oh my God, why are they on their phones playing Candy Crush? Why are they not mixing and mingling and stuff? So give us a little bit of like, what are the tips to use? Like what should we be doing better for everybody?
Yeah, so I think where we missed the mark, right? So I'm going to go back to what Rachel said earlier too. I just want to clarify. I am not an extrovert. For everyone watching, I am not. And for those people who know me really well, they totally get it. I am an extroverted introvert. And so what that means is I need time to recharge. I need a neuro break. I just need time. But what people are missing is that ability to go out and find the visual cues. Part of that, you know, initial connection, the easiest thing, like when we all jumped on the call earlier today, there were a few of us that had curly hair. And so visually we saw the curly hair and we started talking about curly hair, and we said we should have a curly hair meetup at IMEX, and you're going to bring products and we're going to try it out on Thursday and we're going to have this wild, wacky time. And right, people are going to wonder what we're doing. But that is the biggest thing. Like, you know, whether you're an introvert, whether you're an extrovert, whatever you want to coin yourself, when you're somewhere, you need to look for what that visual cue is. Like for you, it's curly hair. For you, it's shoes. Like you and Ken have this love war about shoes and who's got the best kicks. And
it's a competition.
It is. And I love it. I wish I could be a part of it. I have FOMO, but I don't know that my kicks could hang with you guys. But, you know, I think it's finding that visual cue, finding the common ground. It's engaging and listening. I think so many times we want it to just be so easy. We feel like people should spoon feed us what we need. And that's not how it is. You have to put some effort and energy into it. And if you really listen to what people are saying, you'll pick up some cues that you could build on, and maybe you have a story to share. And that's really how people can engage with one another. And yeah, I get floored when I walk by. Like I'm in my booth and I don't like standing in my booth. I move around. My ADD doesn't keep me still, or I should say ADHD. Like Mac and I always joke that we should throw Frisbees at people in the aisles just to like
wake them up.
Well, they're doing this when they're walking between aisles even,
Yeah.
or as an exhibitor, like, wow, you've spent how much money, or your company spent how much money sending you there, like, put the phone away.
Well, it's funny because it's similar to what Sam was saying, where you need the pause, right? And
Right.
so like when you do networking, or when you do this idea of like, okay, how do you bring people together in a different way? It's really creating the pause effect. And, you know, I know a lot of event organizers, they try really hard to design around networking, coffee breaks, you know, meetups, the lounge for the first timers that are way at the end of, I don't know what, you know, the hosted buyer lounge. It's like way on the other side of the hall. And like, you're like pushing people this way instead of this way. So, you know, when we talk about like, what is the coolest icebreakers maybe that you've seen implemented, and what is the result of that? Is it a pause? Is it like people found new friends? What does it look like?
Well, you know, I want to say the coolest icebreaker ever is Jabberyak, but I'm not that egotistical. I can give, you know, accolades to others. You know, I think for me, I cringe when I go to conferences, and I'm sorry for all you event planners that do this. I am so sorry. When we go somewhere and there's a cool venue, loud music, and alcohol, it's not a networking event. Like, I want to find my peeps. I want to find my tribe. I want to have fun conversation. I want to go somewhere thinking, oh God, I don't know if I have this in me today. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go for 10 minutes. And I want to end up staying for 3 hours. I want to walk away having met people that made me laugh, that made me smile, that I connected with, that I will see on the showroom floor later and be like, hey, how are you? Or we will meet up. And we're not meeting up because we have something to sell each other or we have business. We don't see dollar signs. I don't want to meet up with someone, you know, because I want them to like Jabberyak. I mean, yeah, maybe, but not all the time. I want to meet up with people because I need a neuro break. I want to meet up with people that I share something in common with and I have good conversation, and it gives me that pause that Sam was talking about. That pause from boom, 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 go, 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 from 8 a.m. in the morning until 11 p.m. at IMEX, right? Like, I want that. And I'm sure like when you and Ken meet up and you guys talk about kicks, that's your pause.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that, you know, I actually think that the number one driver of for events is meeting your favorite people. And it's actually going to be, and it's interesting. I'm pretty sure there's a KPI for it, because that's what everybody needs, is like these KPIs and those ROIs and the blah blah blahs. Another acronym. But I honestly think that it's like my return factor. If I want to come back to IMEX or to, you know, it's probably going to be for the people, or it's those that I want to hang out with, or those that have a certain obsession, like with kicks or with white cheddar popcorn, because that's another obsession of mine. Or like, you know, or pretend that you want to binge, you know, Perfect Couple on Netflix together. And that's a commonality. And it's easy, I believe, also for introverts to say, ooh, that's an easy conversation I can be part of.
Right.
There's no judgment.
Yeah.
And any of that. And I think that's wonderful. Anything around the senses, like food. I know that you're, I got you.
Like, I haven't eaten yet, so I'm kind of hungry too. So you got
like,
me.
Whether it's something like that, or whether it's like new ideas, you know, I don't know, something different. It doesn't always have to be business related, right?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, you hit something on the nail that triggered me. You know, this There's things that trigger me.
Curly hair? Was it the curly hair? Because we can go
No,
back.
no, not the curly hair thing, but I'm just, But I think, I cringe when people ask me about, well, what was your ROI on attending the show or exhibiting? And I'm like, what is your definition of ROI? Because your definition of ROI and my definition of ROI are so different. And so many times, and in the past, 90 days out from the show, you generally looked at how much business you closed, how many hot leads you generated or leads, and then you cool, warm, hot, right? But nowadays that's changing because what people are wanting is changing. Business is now being built on trust and loyalty, and how we build trust is based on eliciting emotions, right? Because it's driving deeper connections and it builds long-term business relationships. So maybe you can't measure it within 90 days, but all of a sudden, it happens with us. I think that's how at Jabberyak we've built our businesses. We build it on trust. We build it on the connections and the relationships, and we don't build it on just trying to sell. People always ask me, oh, how many leads did you get? Or how much business did you close? And it's like, God, really? Is that, I know that's what we spent money to exhibit, but is that really all?
Yeah.
There's so much more. And I think the business that we've been able to generate has been built on trust. And all of a sudden, you look at us 2 years in, and people who come to us, they come to us because maybe we connected a year ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, there's trust. And all of a sudden they're repeat customers. All of a sudden there's, can we do some sort of annual agreement? Can you do all of our events? And we're not fighting for that one event anymore. Now we've got other events.
Well, I love it because and I know that you're going to be sharing this in IMEX as well, in the sense of that whole trust factor is also about it's repeated. And so it's like getting people to know that you're going to be with your, favorite people yet again and seeking them out. And so this all ties into the networking, the matchmaking, the engagement, taking those pictures together, the peer-to-peer marketing, like all of that. And it totally makes sense to me, and that's why you guys are all in the Tech2Grow collective. And then you get to celebrate each other, and that's where we need nominations and awards, and we should award each other as well. So,
well, there's collaboration, right? I think we all bring something to the table that, people misconstrue as competition or, oh, you're just like that company. It's like, no, we each bring something different, and collectively you put it together, and man, that's like tantalizing and stimulation in the best way.
It is. It truly is. Well, I'm excited that you are with the Tech2Grow collective, and we are all excited. So thank you everyone for this. I think it was very enlightening. I can't wait. There's going to be a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at IMEX, and we will be there, and we will keep each other going until the very last day. So that is a promise. And so thank you, Sheeta. And so now we're going to do a little break. This is a fun thing that I actually do love to do. So I'm going to bring everybody on because I think it's best when we are all in this together. And I don't know if you've heard of Sono or not, but basically what we are going to do right now is we are going to create a song about IMEX, Vegas, timers, and also us being at the Tech2Grow. And so I'm going to get in here, and I'm going to need your feedback. Can everybody see my screen?
Indeed, yes.
Indeed. So let's talk about what kind of music do you all love? This is how you're going to get to know each other. And everybody that's in the chat, we need to include you on this as well. So give me a type of music that you would want this song to be on.
Disco. Or 80s. You said 80s.
80s are good.
80s. Okay. All right. And then talk about IMEX Vegas, biggest show for event profs. What else? What should we put in here?
We need to get curly hair in there, surely, right?
Hair.
For curly hair.
Sam and Graham, I hope you bring curly wigs. I want to see that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a yellow wig if I can find one, and see if I can find shoes that match it. But I'm not sure I'll be able to do it.
And what, those that are really looking for like cool tech?
Cool tech, first timers.
What else?
Engagement.
Engagements. Celebration. Awards.
Life changing.
Life changing. Hugs. Life changing. Okay.
If we put kicks in there, we got to talk about kicks. That's a big deal.
And kicks. What else?
That they're going to walk away from that booth feeling amazing.
All right. Walk away feeling amazing. All right. Let's see what,
and they're going to tell all their friends about it.
I don't know if we have enough room. No, we don't. All right.
Fine.
You guys ready? So let's see.
I can't wait.
So I actually think this is super cool. It's funny because at Inbound, they had one activation where the setup was like a huge boombox. And then they had laptops with Sono on it. And you were able to do songs for either yourself, your company, or whatever you wanted.
Oh.
And it was super cool. And yes, there's, if you haven't played around with Sono, it's pretty cool. All right, so let's see. And the lyrics on the side.
Lights so bright, they still show. Curly hair, cool peeps, now you know. Take a something in the glow. First timers ready, let's go. Dancing through the neon street. Even pros making magic sweet. Busting moves on tired feet. New connections can't be beat. IMEX, baby, still the vibe. Life changing energy, we vibe. Walk away with kicks so high. Feeling amazing under the sky. Cool event taking every turn. Bright ideas make minds churn. Heartfelt moments make us yearn for the next big time to return.
That's our theme song.
Feels like home.
Huh?
Nevermore will be wrong.
That's our
This
theme
place
song.
got us in the zone. Networking to the bone. IMEX, baby, still the vibe.
So there's also this one. So let's see how this sounds.
Lights so bright, they steal the show. Curly hair, cool peeps, now you know. Techies jumping in the go.
It has a little beat to it. It's very different.
Neon street of pros making magic sweet.
Cecilia, and cat.
New connections can't be beat. IMEX Vegas, feel the vibe. Life changing energy, we vibe. Walk away with kicks so high.
Graham, you gotta dance.
This might have to be like our morning song.
Cool events, take it every turn. Bright ideas make minds turn. Heartfelt moments make us young.
All right. So just had to share that, you know. We might have to put in there something around like Tech2Grow. I'm gonna do another one with all the company names, and then that will be our like dun 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 dun. Well, this has been absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for everybody to experience this energy at IMEX. Tech2Grow Collective is where you have to be. That's all. So I want to thank you all for being with me for like 90 minutes or so, and can't wait to see everybody in Vegas. Safe travels, stay away from the hurricanes, all of that stuff. And we will see you in Vegas. Hope you guys are ready.
We're ready.
In
All right,
Vegas.
let's do it. Awesome, awesome. See you guys.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Creating change, changing lives. Cut the shit, it's our show. Epic thoughts to make us grow. Mind stamping moments raw and real. Change the world with how we feel.